So I literally just pressed stop and I started again. So this is where the video. If weird, I'll give you the overview. So basically, where my house is, there's and Morris's house. There's a house behind Morris's, and it's his brother's. My great uncle, my dad's uncle, all that stuff. You know, same as Joe, same second name as me. And basically, you know, him and Morris didn't really get on just because he's a bit of an arsehole. Because like Morris is real nice and stuff like that. So Morris will get on with anybody. So anyway, there's that. And then behind the house, he had a big, huge garden. And then about 7 years ago, his son, which his name is Bobby, decided to build a house there. And so he moved away from his other house and built this house here. And it is a big house. It's a decently sized one. It's probably just a tiny bit bigger than ours. Anyway, it's a weird shape and stuff like that. You know, all that kind of modern, futuristic shit. Anyway, that was all grand. We didn't mind stuff like that. And basically, what happened was, they rejected the plans to the house, the plan permission people, and then he redone the house and all that stuff. And then they said okay. And then one day we came home and we looked up, and there was this balcony there, this big huge terrace on top of it. And my dad's like, "I thought you weren't going to put that in because that was in the original plan. It was rejected because it would have been overlooking us and stuff like that." And then Bobby just turned around and goes like, which is my dad's cousin. He goes like, "Oh, look at it this way, Mark. I changed my mind." So he just decided to put that up there against the law anyway. So my dad went fucking mad and stuff like that. And like he basically looking over us and stuff like that. He's an absolute prick, by the way. And all this shit. And then that escalated and stuff like that. Guards are involved and all that crap and legal teams and stuff like that. So I'll show you the house actually really quickly so you can have an idea of what you're looking at. I'll go from this window here because it's easiest and stuff like that. And this guy's a right prick, like he. Right, that's it. Sorry, I just see it there. That's it, and that I'm trying to get my finger. See that thing there up there? That's the roof terrace. It's kind of terrace and jacuzzi on it and stuff like that. So basically, what he done was he put it there, but it shouldn't have been there, and all that shit. And so he went in for plan permission again on it, and it got passed once there was glass around it. And sure, he didn't put the glass around it for about a year, and even at that, he could still step up and see over. So it's basically fucking useless. So other than that, that's really what he done. And there's more to it. Our architect or whatever we had these maps, and he's like, "Oh well, there's a wall, so you can see the wall there. The wall was that we have built. Actually, behind that wall is a bit of our land too. So we were like, well, he's after building a bit of his house on our land, which you know he didn't know and we didn't know. So we were like, okay." So we looked at the maps and showed. So my dad was like, my dad had the choice to like sell it to him, or just sign it off and just be done with it. So my mom was like, "Oh, just don't sign it off or anything like that. That's like the worst thing you do." But my dad did, and it turned around. He signed off all the papers and shit, and it turns out that the maps were wrong. And where the wall was right, so we actually signed off land that it wasn't even ours, so that didn't make any sense. And then he claimed that he owned our wall and stuff like that, and he plastered all the wall on his side, stuff, which you're not allowed to do because we built the wall, it's our fucking wall, and stuff like that, and all this nonsense. And like our trees at the back, we had them just to like block them off, so he starts cutting them and stuff like that when we were away and stuff. We got him on security camera and stuff like that. But the thing is, I don't know, sorry, this is very confusing stuff like that, so you can actually get it, I guess. The thing is, this guy, that house cost about $1 million, right? And he's was a builder. He doesn't work anymore, doesn't do anything. But he also owns 13 other houses that he spent at least 600,000 on. So this guy behind us here is about 6 or 7 million in debt. And he has them all with different banks and stuff like that, so they can't track him and stuff like that, all this shit. So basically, he's an absolute fucking gangster, and he's got all this shite that like he can't afford and stuff like that, and he can't even afford the house he lives in and all this shit, and he's got all this rubbish, right? And he like he's real weird and stuff like that. He gives you eyes, and he's like, oh, he's odd, and stuff like that. And like his fucking dad, which is Morris's brother Joe, that I was telling you about, like was standing up. They actually built this thing when we were away in Barbados one time for the kids. See that little tree house right up there? You can see it, just there. Yeah, they built that one day. It's and stuff like that. Just when we were away, just to piss us off, so the kids could go up there and just look over our garden and stuff like that, and all this shit. And turned out it was completely legal because it was wooden and stuff like that, structure off the ground. So that's all grand. But then Joe one day got up and I was looking at sea, and my mum was like, "What are you doing looking at their garden and stuff like that?" And Joe just absolutely abused her out, like made her cry and stuff like that. So my dad just went mad and went down and nearly boxed the head off him. So there's, you know, we don't talk to them, don't even look at them anymore. But they do all this stuff like cut the trees like every few weeks and stuff like that to piss us off. And the thing is, right, this is the thing here. We can't, right, this is weird. So basically, if we bring them to court over anything, right, the court's just going to say, oh, solve your issue and stuff like that, you do this and you do that. But they also, we haven't signed the deeds to our house, right? And basically the deeds to a house means you can sell your house and mortgage it and stuff like that, right? But see, my dad already has the mortgage paid off, so we don't need the deeds. The deeds basically set out where your house is and where your land is. That's all fine. But he doesn't have the deeds to his house because it's a signed off piece of land. And the only way he can get the deeds to his house is if we sign our deeds. But if we don't sign our deeds, he can't get his. And if he can't get his, it means he can't sell his house and he can't mortgage it, so he's going to be stuck with it. He can't sell the thing, he can't get rid of it, he can't get anything on it, he doesn't know where it is and stuff like that. So the more we don't sell the deeds, the more debt he's going to be in. So he can't just go tomorrow, I'm going to sell this house because I don't have the deeds for it. He can't mortgage it or anything like that, he can't do anything to it. So basically we're putting him into fucking liquidation. So the longer we keep the deeds out, which we're not going to go and get the deeds because no one's going to sell this house. We don't want to sell it, we never will. But he needs eventually to sell his house or get it if it goes into the banks take it or something like that. They need the deeds and stuff like that. But like they can't make us sell deeds because like it's our legal rights not to. So basically we're fucking him over like that, and he's that's why he's doing all this, trying to get us to go to court, try and get us. So the judge will just say, oh, you have to just sign your deeds and stuff like that. But if we don't bring him to court, then we can't get told to sign our deeds and we won't do it. So the more we're doing it, the more we're pissing him off and stuff like that. Which is basically, he thinks he's pissing us off, which he is and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if we don't sign the deeds, it could be destroying his life. So it's up to him what he wants to do. But we're not going to sign them because he's fucked us over too many times and stuff like that and pissed us off for the last 7 years. I think every single time we went away on holiday, something has changed or something like that, or something has happened or something. So what we do, we just call the guards and just let them be aware of whatever happens, stuff like that, so it's on record and stuff like that in case anything serious does happen. But at the end of the day, that's really the story with them. They're just, I don't know. I don't know how they're still there and the banks haven't gotten the house and stuff like that because he's so much debt, like they need to fucking relief it somewhere and stuff like that. And that's the story with the deeds and stuff like that. So we don't have our deeds, we didn't sign them, and neither does he. We don't need them and he does. So that's the only thing we have over them, and it's probably the biggest thing that anybody could have over anybody. We've got the power of their house and of their mortgages and stuff like that. We determine if they get it or not. So that's that's all good. As for me, see, the thing is, it's weird because I used to always be over there because see there, Joe, which is the older guy, which is Morris's brother, he has 5 children, and one of them, his name is Karen and stuff like that, and his son is a Connell, and I was Connell's best friend. Me and Connell were best friends for 12 years until we were 12, and then this shit started happening and stuff like that. And then we weren't really as good as friends anymore. Then I moved to CUS, and he's obviously in CUS and stuff like that, so got a bit closer and stuff like that. But it's never been the same because we're not really allowed in each other's houses and stuff like that because of all this shit and all these problems and stuff like that. Because it kind of spreads through the family, if you know what I mean, just a bit, because people know, like the people that know in my family about exactly what's going on over there is like obviously close families like me, Eve, my dad, my mom. Morris, obviously, because Morris is involved in this shit because he lives here, and Denise, which is my auntie and stuff like that. Maybe if you have an idea of what's going on, and a few of my dad's close friends and stuff like that. But one day Morris was building a wall between him and Joe, just another wall that just to finally fence it off properly. And one night he came out with a Mark heard this smashing noise, and it was actually Joe was smashing it down with a sledgehammer because there was the shore was there for him, his manhole for sewage and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, you can't block my sewage line and stuff like that with the wall and stuff like that. So, well, Mara said, it's actually my sewage line and you tapped into it and stuff like that because Joe didn't want to put one down himself. So they put it basically a door where he put the hole and stuff like that so people couldn't use it if they need to get to it. But also, Mara's being all nice. At the end of the wall, Martis made it in a stairs kind of form. So stairs, it went like that, and then it went like that, and then that and that. Because Joe was complaining that, oh, I can't see the sea, because he can get a clip of the sea if he looks, or the harbour, if he looks out the window or something like that, he can just about see it. But like, my dad was like, why did you do that? Because like, now you're giving him what he wants, and Martis like, oh, it doesn't matter and stuff like that. But like, if that was me or my dad or anybody, we would have built the wall and said, fuck him, like, it's your problem. You put your house there. It all goes back to jealousy, because years ago, I'll show you, this is going to be a long video, sorry. But years ago, there was this problem, back before, like, my dad was even born and stuff like that, when Morris and Joe were brothers, and Morris's dad was alive. In the will, they gave this piece of land. See, this is the picture, right? See where my hand is? There, that's Joe's house, and that's where the thing is, and you can see where the wall would have been here, and Joe could look out here, and Morris put the wall across there. But basically, this piece of land, all the way back here, was Morris's dad. And basically, the way the site was split like this, straight in half, right? But Joe had the first choice, because Joe was a few months older, and it was basically, choose which bit of land you want. So Joe chose the back piece because the front piece was in fucking bits. I mean, it was all everywhere, there's shit everywhere on it and stuff like that. It was just a mess, like all uneven and stuff like that. So Martis was left with the front piece, and it took him years to get it right. But now he's got it right. He's got a sea view and stuff like that, and this land could be worth about 10 million, this whole strip. And then Joe's in behind, and literally could be worth 300,000, something like that. So that's a difference. And Joe's been jealous of that ever since. But sure, it wasn't Morris's fault. Morris was left with what he got. And so that's really the jealous thing about it, and he's out. Joe and all them have been trying to get a sea view ever since, because we have the land that's worth probably 30-40 times more than theirs is, even though we're basically joined onto them. So that's really what happened. That's where it all came from, all this jealousy and all this shit. But sure, they put it on themselves. They had the choice, and he made the mistake, not us. Morris fixed it and stuff like that, so Morris got the lucky one. So I guess out of all Morris's niceness and stuff like that, he probably, obviously, he came out the better karma, because he has all this stuff here. You can see it here. Like, you could put another house there, you could knock down Mars and put 3 more there and stuff like that. Like, you could, so that's really where it all came from. I'll make another, or if you're on the phone or something, I'll talk to you about it as well. But that's basically what happened, and that's why we don't talk to them, and not even look at them, none. So yeah, that's really what happened there. It's a long story, but you can see it. And they just make up lies about us. Sorry, I just picked up my piece of paper there. And like say, oh, we do this and we do that, but we don't do anything. Like, we just don't do anything. We don't even put past them. We just keep the deeds, and that's it. So, or we don't have the deeds, but like, that's the only thing we have over them. So that's all there is on that. So hope you're having a good day. Enjoy your movie, and we'll view, and bye.